Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fablehaven, the Legend of Ascension. We have made our way around the table, all the way back to the OG slaveholder Mog. And we are at Ascension 7, which increases heroes' life by 10%. And I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like challenging Mog's authority. So I thought we'd continue a little bit of the meme/experimental trend and try something a little strange, because Mog, unique group, I think they're called Orcs, baby. The unique group for Mog is the one whose rares I've used the least. The Orc Sorcerer, the Vampire, and the Kami Goblin have all seen bare minimal play in my playthroughs, so I thought we'd test out two of them, with the focus being around the Vampire's bleeding synergy. The team might look a little strange, and that's because we get a vampire for free. And that's pretty cool. Also, we are bringing Ner'zhul with us for a very important reason. The same reason that we just have a real skeleton warrior in our team. They're actually, maybe, probably okay. That's kind of the plan. That's what we're going to do. For science, of course. We'll be joined by the Draconids and Les Skeletons. We have seen a lot of this combo, but that's just because it's a good combo. As for our talents, we are all the way down this tree to get a free good boy and a free vampire, as mentioned. Starting the game off with 2 rares does sound pretty good, thank you very much. Of course, the muy importante, reduced training costs, very supremely good. Over here, I guess I just did stuff to buff the master. You know, should Mog ever have to get involved, he now does more damage. Which sounds great to me.
Let's get to work!
Now, typically, I am very pleased to just run it down with... Ooh, I didn't know you did bleeding. With morale-related synergies. So I guess it's time for the Colossal Hydra. Who would have thought we'd see this? This is I think this could be Chalcodon's second time ever. Hello! Wow, okay. Interesting. Draconid attack supply bleeding in a bleeding build. Thank you, RNG. I appreciate it. Alright, I'm going to name everybody and I will get back to you. Alrighty, our team has some strange units, so allow me to introduce them. We have Goblins. The Goblin, so creatively named because, of course, the developers of this game is Goblin Studio. So I thought, hey, I couldn't think of anything else. It was going to be Gobbo or this, so I went with this one. The Goblin... The main reason the Goblin is here is because the Goblin applies bleeding on all of its attacks and can also apply poison, which is pretty cute. It's probably not going to be in room 1, but it's here. We are joined by Ner'zhul, the Orc Sorcerer, who we haven't seen at all, and the primary reason, and besides his impressive fire resistance, which I am tired of lacking, any monster in his group that is defeated, such as the 60 health Goblin, comes back to life as a skeleton warrior, which can, of course, inflict bleed themselves. Are you seeing the synergy? He can also just YOLO transform his group into random skeletons. I'm not sure if he can transform the skeleton warriors that he summons, so we could technically have, like, literally 3 lives. But we're going to find out today. We have on Hoplite the ever-reliable Skeleton Soldier. Of course, applies bleeding to the front, reduces damage that other people take, all wonderful things. We have Bork, the bestest boy, and for once we're not going to be using his AoE attack, we'll probably be using his bleeding attack. How ironic. Not ironic. Novel. There we go. We have the Orc Gromash. Gromash Hellscream is here to slap things and enrage the team when he gets punched. That's pretty much it. He has a nice 60% nature resist. We have Alucard, the Vampire. So what is Alucard's shtick? This is supposedly the star of today's show. He can attack the front with physical damage and spread the stack of bleeding applied to that target. So, semi-ideally, we attack somebody with a lot of frontal bleeds, such as Skeleton Warrior, the Goblin, and Hoplite, Bork, and then Alucard spreads it to deal some AoE damage. He can also attack the front with air damage and deal 10% more damage per stack of bleed than he has, and all of his attacks apply 2 stacks of bleed.
It's kind of hilarious in a mundane way, isn't it?
No, 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 no!
What is, Herr Major?
No, 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 no!
That none of these Waffer munchers ever put it together that Alucard backwards is...
Dracula!
Alright, we also have Skeletor, The feller of titans from the days of yore. Skeletor. The Skeleton's Warrior actually has decent resistances, which is surprising. But of course, he has a 20% chance to stun the front and can also apply bleeding, which is the more important thing. His passive says cannot come back to life, so we can't have a Skeletor with the Orc Sorcerer and still expect him to come back as a Skeleton Warrior, but I'm assuming I can transform him, so possibilities, maybe. And of course, we have Rancor. Good old Rancor. The reliable Rancor. We might actually be using his frontal attack, which applies bleeding, but he can also do his nature front attack, which increases damage per effect applied. And he reflects stuff, so he's tanky boy. Our starting trap is the Flying Dagger, which I don't think I've ever used. Physical damage to the front and applies bleeding 3. Beautiful, wunderbar. How do we start? Typically, I go to the Merchant, but I kind of want to go to the Trainer, because we have some really cheap upgrades. Alucard is not one of them. 100, look at that. Ner'zhul is also not one of them. So we could upgrade pretty much anyone plus Skeletor. Look at this. He just gets all the resistances in the world. What a weird being. As Alucard is the star of the show, I'd love to upgrade him, but we would literally be 10 gold short of upgrading Skeletor and Alucard. I feel like that was necessary. And Hoplite wouldn't be bad either. He's quite the defensive. But I think we'll upgrade Gromosh. Gromosh is going to play an important part here. Probably. The brewer behind Strangle Stout, the world-famous beer with a delicate aroma of stagnant slime, is looking for hero tears, which, guess what, we do not possess. That's right. An enthusiast has tracked an artifact to you and would like to buy it for a very attractive price. He seems to carry other similar objects on his person. One of your employees will be able to steal that without him noticing. Now, it's worth mentioning the Orochi's stolen sword is supremely amusing, considering the fact that we're doing a bleed build. However, we don't really have a good Draconid to make use of it. Rancor, of course, applies bleeding naturally, but he doesn't have any AoE or cleave effects. This would be amazing if we could find the Cock or the Salamander. But I think I'm just going to take the funds, because 200 can go a long way, as you may have noticed. We do have a lot of units, so we can go ahead and pop off on a business trip. I guess we take the Bewitching Glove. Ugh. Honestly, I'd like to take the money and the blood, but we're going to have a lot of blood anyway. And I want Skeletor to prove that I wasn't incorrect in bringing him. Actually, we can just let Skeletor... I mean, Bewitched Glove is okay. What kind of attack are we looking at? Just like with the weird build that we did a little bit ago. The Demoralized Night Meme build. We aren't really looking to make use... Okay, fine, we're just going to send Skeletor. He'll come back eventually. He'll come back eventually. Alright, room 1. We do have a disaster, which is pretty good for us. And I do want our resistances to be kind of split. If I can. So, room 1 looks pretty okay. Room 1 looks pretty okay. I think we just take this team. Wow, we actually have it. We have no fire resistant room 2. Alright, goblins go to room 2. There we go. Alrighty, let's go get some money. This dungeon layout is really far apart from the monster rooms, but leading the charge is the Sage who will be attacking the front with ice damage, which Bork is here to eat happily with his own enhanced resistance. I was looking at the Orc Sorcerer, good old Ner'zhul here, and this affects himself, which is something. Truly something. But anyway, we are also joined by the Ninja, who will be attacking everybody with quite a substantial amount of nature damage. I wonder if I should have used that crit to cleave there. Worth noting. Or worth thinking about anyway. The Orc Sorcerer is in fact going to spawn all of our friends. And now the question is, do I do this? This could be hilarious. Unfortunately, my friends have already fallen, so... Do I try and stun? No, no, no. We're here for bleeding. Only one person is bleeding right now, but... We're here for bleeding. So technically, I can turn myself into... I can turn myself into a skeleton and avoid the motivation loss on Ner'zhul. That's pretty funny. Also, it YOLO'd pretty well. And I got to apply 8 stacks of bleed to this guy. I don't have my trap here, because I put it in front of this room. Because I figured, you know, there's going to be no bleeds left by the time they make it to this room, so at least Alucard will have something to work with if the trap is there. Now, our giant Hydra here is kind of just going to do the work of the gods, I think. The tiredness stacks kind of suck, but I'm pretty sure we just win. I don't know which does more to you. Ah, the Venom Spit. He's weak to poison. Okay, I mean, that didn't go poorly. I think the Hydra can get disgustingly powerful. Speaking of disgustingly powerful, we have the Abominable Swole Man here. You know, we'll take him. So, the Yetigo, I don't think it's going to fit. The Abominable Swole Man. Oh my goodness, it did. The Abominable Swole Man is such called because when he levels up, he can stun people rather reliably, if I recall correctly. And I was going to use him... Yep. Stunned 1 if the target's by at least 2 penalties. Which we have the Burn... And I think the Goblin can attack the back? Yeah, the Goblin can apply Bleed to the back. I was going to use this for Mog's final run with a whole bunch of buffs. So I wasn't really expecting to get him now, but if the game's gonna give it to me, I'll just take it. I would love nothing more than a level 4 Skeletor, you know, for the memes. But that is not la situation. Do I even know? Level 4 Gromash, huh? Let's go level... Okay, we're going to buff Alucard. I have to buff Alucard. We'll buff Goblins, too. Why not? Why not, really? I have so... You've got to be kidding me. I reset 37 times last time to find this stupid artifact that just shows up on week 7. Also... this would work really well if I could apply Demoralization, but I cannot. There is one unit that can apply Bleed and Demoralization that I thought about taking. I mean, technically, Gromosh can apply Demoralization. Why am I opening the door to another strategy? When I really should just go get these tiers. This is really what I should do. Game. Good news, everyone! The board has declared that due to a great financial period, the company can allocate you extra resources in the form of a trapper, recruiter, cold hard cash. I do like the cold hard cash, but the Siren's Harp might not be bad, considering I don't have a second trap. The Siren's Harp deals AoE air damage and applies elemental resistance to Letim. More tiers. I have so many tiers. Do I still have enough units? I do, barely. So I should think about this a little bit, at least. I have thought about it, and I've come to the conclusion that this is okay. Alright, let's get our first artifact. This could be kind of bad. Leading the charge is the Templar, who will be dealing... Do I slow? Nah. We'll be dealing air damage to the front and applying vulnerability. Unhoplite will eat that well, but you know what Unhoplite will not eat well? That's right, the Harpooner's harpoon straight to his face, dealing ice damage and afflicting bleed. How does a skeleton bleed? Don't ask questions. Ow. We also have the Hellbringer here, who is doing her strange AoE attack that I do not like. Having the crit on Ner'zhul is kind of a waste, but hey, we did it. Thankfully, Unhoplite is going to eat that attack with his 2 health, so it'll be quite the overkill. She YOLO'd an enhanced armor, which really sucks for me, so... Wow, we rolled the 20%. Okay. If I had taken that Night Meme mirror, the Night Meme catcher, excuse me, this could actually be okay. Which is something to think about. Well, anyway. 4 bleed on 1 hit is pretty good. That's a lot of bleed, team. Both these characters are pretty weak to fire, so... In fact, everyone's pretty weak to fire, so it's probably in my best interest to keep spamming that. And to not use Kane's Resurrection, or whatever it's called. Ow. Although now... Oh, we got to skill. Wow, okay. Speaking of being weak for fire. Okay. More bleeding or chance to stun. I figured I wouldn't hit it again, but you never know. The downside to the Harpooner here is that if she's last, which she probably will be at this rate, then she is going to heal a bunch and buff herself. Maybe I can make it so she's not last. This affects... them. Okay, I forgot. It's been a while. But I think I can just spam the burn here, and it will, in fact, kill the Harpooner first. Which is fantastic. Phenomenal. Marvelous. I don't know if Chell Sudan is going to make it out of this, but... Oh. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so proud of you. The Colossal Hydra's putting in so much work. Great. Okay. I guess I just take the liquid nitrogen capsule. I mean, the Bewitched Glove is... It could be okay. Not really. Not really. Alright, we'll take the liquid nitrogen capsule. We used this in a very recent run where it was actually effective. But ice damage from monsters will calculate their damage based off fire resistance if their fire resistance is low enough. We don't have too many ice attacks. But, you know. That is a lot of bleeding from this thing. That is quite a lot of bleeding. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Okay. During walkies, Chalcedon ran after an elf and fetched it back to the dungeon in small pieces, one in each mouth. So cute. It is adorable. Wow. Walkies for Chalcedon. At the trader, we can get level 4 Bork. For Skeletor, maybe? No? Alright. An archaeologist is ringing your doorbell to claim an artifact, blaming you for looting it. He even dares to demand you donate it to a museum. No, we'll crush you beneath my hooves. I don't need a therapist. At least not in game. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Tormentor? Golthar the Destroyer. No. Alright. How's our team looking? How's our team looking? It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Room 2 hasn't had a single moment to act. But, hey, maybe they'll get their chance. Because this is our first champion. Our champion is the Necromancer. And she's kind of terrifying in this setting. But she attacks the back with a load of ice damage. And gains in rage when losing morale. Thankfully, for once in our life, we are not actually going to be attacking her morale. But she also revives her fallen friends as a skeleton warrior, just like the Orc Sorcerer. Orc Sorcerer. More like orc necromancer. Yeah. So, you know, that can be a problem. She is joined by the herbalist who, in her usual bizarre fashion, is leading the charge. I don't think Ner'zhul is actually going to get a chance to transform himself this time. Wow. You survived. Okay, cool. And last but not least is the Concertist, who I think is going to whittle down Ner'zhul's health. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Applying dodge to himself, or, well, to anyone who's low health, such as this lady. If only you died there. If only. Now you're going to die here. And then the Necromancer's going to bring you back. What a shame. What a true pity. Chalcedon is probably not long for this world, I'm afraid. But, this could be a problem. Well, at least Room 2 is going to get a chance to act. Will you survive, Chalcedon? You will one more turn. One more turn for the Breath of Fire. I wonder what... what can I do here with Mog? Probably just Enrage, right? Probably. Yep. Alright. Enrage. We have the Flying Dagger here, which is going to yeet some bleeding. Now, Alucard... Ooh. What do I do about that? So I can either instantly kill the skeleton, which is probably a good idea, or I can try and spread the stacks. How does that work? Okay, it takes the first few stacks. Also, it looks like I'm gonna kill her. Just by debuffs, which is pretty cool. 3 bleed, 1 burn. Could be enough. Alright. Bleed. Bleed, you foolish concertist. Wow. Lived in 8. Alucard! No! Alright, I'm over it. You know, I considered this a possibility. But we actually found Memmon's Bridget Bone. I also have Kel'Thuzad, who's pretty cool. I wonder, how does this work with the Orc Sorcerer? If Kel'Thuzad's in the back and he dies, he turns into a random skeleton. So, would he die, turn into a random skeleton, and then when that skeleton dies, he's resurrected by the Sorcerer as a skeleton warrior, and then the skeleton warrior can be transformed into another skeleton? Does Kel'Thuzad have 4 lives? I kind of want to find out now. You know what else I want to find out? Does Memmon's Bridget Bone affect the Orc Sorcerer group that has been fully transformed into random skeletons? These are the questions. These are the answers that I don't know, and that I want to know. Which is more... Okay, to be fair, Mammon Bridges Bones is probably a better question. That is a better scientific question to be answered. Am I still going to go with Kel'Thuzad because it's Kel'Thuzad? Probably. This is pretty cool, though. I can't choose. I'm going with the Mammoth's Bridge Bone. Go with that one. Absolutely, trainer. We can train all sorts of things. All sorts of things. Such as level 4 Bork. Level 4 Alucard. Alucard actually put in quite a bit of work there. Level 4 Bork is not yet. But we have level 4 Alucard and level 4 Skeletor. What more can one ask for? I think the interview requires blood, so I can't spend all of it. Oh, money. Oh, glorious money. Okay. Money. It seems that the Hydra has caught a passing employee and is now toying with them. So we can kill Rancor for plus 40 resistances. Okay. Sure, that Have I ever seen plus 40 resistances? I don't think so. Let her have her fun. Bye, Rancor. I don't know how you ate that, considering Rancor is a giant shell with spikes on it, but I'm also not going to ask questions. Now, our motivation is a little, shall we say, wounded, but we can just easily swap-a-roo the group-a-roos, and that should be that. Our resistance is okay. So let's go do something. I guess this. We're going to go get a master bonus. Alrighty. Leading the charge is the Dragon Knight, who will be attacking the center with... Why did you put that? The highest fire resist. Oh, interesting. Attacking the center with a lot of physical damage. He applied vulnerability to good old Skeletor because Skeletor is the true threat. You should know that. I should run the air attack. Well, anyway. He's joined by the Amazon, who will also be attacking the center with nature resist, or nature damage, which both the Orc Warrior, our good old Gromosh, can actually eat decently well. We're going to apply the bleed. Now, the Dragon Knight does have decent physical resist, but, wow. The damage is scaling. Also, I have 3 stacks of Enrage because Gromosh is being punched willingly. Willingly being punched. And last but not least is the Virtuoso dealing his annoying AoE physical damage. That worked out really well because if the Amazon got the killing blow on Gromosh, she would have cleaved. Even though Skeletor doesn't overly care, he still cares a little bit. If I do this again... Ooh. Wow. That's a lot of bleeding. I mean, I'm going to die a horrible and painful death, but that's a lot of bleeding. We have the Siren's Harp here to buff our monster group, which is really far away. Mega far away. And we're probably going to have to AoE here to get rid of the 2 dodges. Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. They're bringing out the armor already, which concerns me. Like, the moment... My biggest concern of this run is that the moment we fight a knight, who's leading the charge, as the knight often does, everything is going to suck. That's really my concern. So we might need to try and find a way. You should be dead, right? Yes. Try and find a way to apply broken armor, maybe. There is a Draconid that does it. The Salamander, who I mentioned previously. You are probably not dead, but now you are. Oh yeah, what are your resistances? 65 fire, 15 ice, 20 armor, 70 nature resist, and 30 air resistance. Yeah, I don't regret letting you eat Rancor. I don't regret it at all. Not even a little bit. Wow. Alright, +1 in rage. I'm down. That was probably the best thing we could have gotten there. We have a 659 gold, which means we finally have a level 4 Bork. We have a level 4 Grow, level 3 Ner'zhul, and a level 4 Goblins. Nice. The walk-in fridge is full of bodies. The doctor could resurrect a fresh human and transform it into an employee in exchange for a little blood. You know what? This doesn't make any sense. Leonidas makes more sense. So our second unhoplite here, we'll just have him with the other team on the off chance that we need his resistances. Which honestly doesn't look like we do, but hey, that's another body we have to throw. I mean... Offer. Utilize. Send on a business trip. Now I really don't want to double tap a therapist, and I also can't afford either of the +2s, so we're just going to take this freebie, and we're going to take this event, and really hope it doesn't cost money. While walking through the corridors, you notice a monster waiting for a job interview. You could hire the candidate right now without intermediaries. On the other hand, what makes them think they can come in uninvited? It's Pliny. I'll intimidate them for some tears, thank you very much. Now, we are broke AF, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to grab this gold because we can gold event trainer. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But artifacts are pretty good. Artifacts are pretty good. So we're instead going to just do it. I have some regrets about my choices, and it's primarily the fact that there's a bloody knight here. But what is a king before a god? Arthur, Arthur, Arthur. Now, the knight has a baseline armor of 65%, and I can only thank the dark gods that it's not worse. Because, of course, he can get the bonus armor trait and have a lot more. Thankfully, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Actually, the bleed damage is just raw damage, isn't it? Can I stun you? That'd be great. I don't think I can, so we're just going to keep going. Goblins is here to apply all the debuffs, and I'm hoping that's just going to be enough to brute force this, because if he falls, the rest of the team just collapses. I'm not afraid of this Invoker attacking the front with fire. Skeletor lived like an absolute champion, and I'm not afraid of this Hellbringer, who for once is actually attacking the back with ice damage. Raining Blood, I got an achievement. 20 stacks of blood. It's raining blood. I don't know the song. I just switched songs, I think. Alright, I killed the knight with bleeding. I think that's an achievement. Not in the game, but of course, to me. Now, Chalcedon has pretty good resistances, even with his elemental weakness, so I think she's literally just gonna kill them. Her ice resistance is pretty weak. Maybe I should be focusing you. Oh, you're immune to poison. Of course you're immune to poison. Why wouldn't she be? Fine. I'll just bleed out your friend. This actually went surprisingly well. I knew Goblins was going to be good for something. Unfortunately, I couldn't put down Alucard, but in the end, I think it worked out. Look at that. He had 65% resistance. You know, I might as well conduct science before she dies a horrible and painful death. So the question is, will Mammon's bridge its bone? Monsters placed in a group containing only skeletons gain 15 to all resistances and 30 to all armor. Will this work? No. It does not. Okay. Well, we found out. We learned a valuable lesson. It does kind of suck because that means the artifact's not super high useful. But that's okay. I don't think I can make use of the Staff of Speech. I have no Draconids anymore. I killed my only Draconid. I do love the staff, but we'll be taking 2 Birdstone instead. This makes it so that 30% of the damage afflicted to a single target up front. This is not here. Attacks targeting only the hero at the front deal 30% of final damage to the hero positioned behind it. It's not going to be a lot, but it could be something. Speaking of being something. I guess I'll plunder. Oh. Upgraded trap. Set a monster free with money. 35%. What's the worst that could happen? Hey, your volunteers have organized a dance party involving several bonfires and a few happy murders. They have emerged unscathed. Quite the bonfire. Quite the bonfire. I don't really want to test my luck again. But I might. I might do it. Oh boy. -1 motivation, find a monster. +1 motivation, set a monster free. 5% chance. Nailed it. Your volunteers stole all the farm's onions. The farmer's soup will be bland. You are so cruel. They've emerged unscathed. Wow, what a remarkable use of your time. Armor, motivation, or haste? Motivation, please. Was that worth it? I don't know. The R&D director has created a centrifuge that can transform hero blood into tears. Do you want to use it? Positively, Lutely. We have arrived at the champion, le champion. Do I even have... I do have enough skeletons to do the Mammoth's Bridge of Bones, if I want to. That does kind of counteract the whole idea of this build. You know. But, there's an option. I could do it. I kind of just like the rooms, though. Like, if the rooms have been working. If it works, there's no need to fix it. That's not how the saying goes. But that's what is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Our champion is the Huntress. And is this the first time I fought the Huntress without her entirely countering my builds? I don't actually know. But anyway, there's a bigger problem than the Huntress, and that is who is leading the charge? The Onimusha, who will be attacking the front with fire damage, which is not the problem. That is the Flame Shield, which will redirect some of the damage he takes as fire damage. And it is calculated based on the amount of damage he takes. And combined with the shitty Shimanonin dealing AoE fire damage, well, you can see how this is going. Poorly. But that should be okay. You removed all of his bleeding. Yeah. That's pretty rude. That is pretty rude. So anyway, I'm not afraid of the Huntress. I'm afraid of this. Pretty much exclusively. But, hey. Fear is merely something that must be conquered. And thankfully, they're not going to do a whole lot of damage to Chalcedon. Like, Chalcedon's going to be able to slam jam, space jam all day. The problem is this is a freaking fountain of youth. Oh my. Now, there were more options in room 1. Not many, but there were more. Alucard was... I kind of put Alucard there because I was like, well, maybe I can just spread the bleeding and it'll be okay. Maybe everything will go according to plan. Which, of course, nothing ever does. But, it might have been better to just have goblins out. Which feels weird to say, but that's how it is. Thankfully. Ooh. Well, it was nice not using her passive while it lasted. For those who do not know, when the Huntress has a debuff, her attack stuns people. So, you know. Yay. She, of course, is getting the flaming debuff from this. I was hoping he would live. But this does mean that we can do all sorts of slapping. With double skeleton, I should be able to transform again, I think. Maybe? Possibly? I'm gonna try. Ooh, he's gonna die to the burn. That kind of sucks. Oh, he lived! He lived it too! Oh, now he does. And now Kane's Revenge. What do we got? Okay. That wasn't great. Not great at all, because she's in the way. Now she's dead. The Anakin is going to get slapped. Anakin's actually going to live another turn. Okay. She throws the baton. Alrighty. This isn't too bad. I mean, she's going to enrage herself, which kind of sucks, but Mog is here to introduce himself. I'm immune to stun, of course. And we can inflict bleeding, and then slap it up. Slap it up real good. And heal, by the way. Ah, foolish Huntress.
Corpse to decorate my home.
I mean, I did say that the Kami Goblin was someone I haven't used yet. More ice stuff, huh? Alright, I'm gonna take Kel'Thuzad this time. Now I have a fully functioning Mammoth Bridges room. If we desire. Which, I mean, I don't, but it's an option, you know? Right there. Right there. There she blew. Now, I need some motivation back. Preferably soon. Level 4 Ner'zhul. I think I'm going to save this. We haven't used the Abominable Swole Man yet, but I mean, it's not a bad upgrade. This covers some of his weaknesses, more HP. This gives him the stun mechanic. Okay, fine. Does leave me with a whopping 5 golds, but fine. What is this? Creatures transfer their stacks of enraged to a random monster of the group when they are defeated. Huh. Not bad, but that means we won't see Bork for the rest of the run, so I'm probably just gonna take the money. A wizard with a string. A wizard with a strange hat has fallen from the sky and landed in the entrance hall. He was carrying a magical artifact. It wouldn't be a Fable run without the miraculous pill. How do I keep finding that? The Hydra seems hungry as she looks longingly at the slave you brought with you. Will you feed the slave to her? Sure. Minus 30 blood? I have exactly 30 blood. It was calculated. Perfectly so. A shifty-looking supplier is offering you some human thighs to feed your employees at a discount price. They do not look or smell particularly fresh, but you know that the manager will grant you a sweet salary bonus for reducing overheads. And what a sweet bonus it is. Now, the question. Either I can incur the penalty to make sure I don't forget, because I will, or I can just pocket the money. Oh. I don't have any blood for the level 4s. Who needs level 4 still? KT, Gromash. So I probably don't level both of these? I'll level both of them. We might not get another... I actually don't need this therapist. So let's level up the flying dagger. There we go. Beautiful. And let's get a 5th artifact, shall we? There is a sacred altar here, which does, of course, remove bleeds, but I think we've evolved beyond that. You know? By the way, level 4 Ner'zhul makes it so as passive, the skeleton warriors that respawn have Enrage too. That shield would have actually been really good for it, but not having Bork for the final fight would have really kind of sort of sucked. And once again, I kind of feel like the rooms are just good. I kind of feel that way. Okay. Sure. Artifact it is. Actually, should we swap the rooms? Let's swap the rooms. Because the massive bleed is just going to be removed by the altar. So Alucard will be our finishing touch. Alright. I had to think about this one for a little bit because there is the dreaded Shadow who will be attacking the front with a lot of poison damage. Leonidas ate it well. Or on Hopline, excuse me, the OG. But he's not going to eat this fireball very well. Coming from the Invoker. And last but not least, the Valkyrie dealing AoE air damage. Now, a lot of this plan comes down to the prowess of Ner'zhul. And we're about to have some massive crits coming out of Bork with the double crit, the miraculous pill, nom nom nom. Nom nom nom, motherfucker! Now, oddly enough, the Shadow doesn't have his weird trait where he deals a buttload more damage when something's at full HP. He has the trait where he just applies... Or, excuse me, where he cannot be affected by demoralization. Which, for once, is fine by me. I did die to the poison, which kind of sucks. But, I have Enrage too. And you should be able to eat this. Ooh. You can eat that. And we could do this again. Or... we could do that. That. Oh, the miraculous pill is not in effect. Darn. That would have been supremely funny. Alas, 'tis not to be. To be or not to be, 'tis not to be. This YOLO'd incredibly well, though. So, good job. Ner'zhul's pretty neat. Incredibly RNG dependent, but pretty neat. Pretty neat. Has Ner'zhul actually died? Has he lost a single point of motivation? I don't think so. I think he's just been transforming the entire time. Also, Chalcedon has been so amazing. Like, top tier. Are you weak to nature? You are. Okay. The Valkyrie is going to do, like, no... Neither of them are doing damage to me. Okay, well. 10 years later, Chalcedon will kill this, don't worry. Mog really is just good, isn't he? He's proving why he's the OG. Now, to be fair, this has nothing to do with Alucard, which was kind of the whole point of me doing this setup. But, you know, I wonder if this would be good. We might actually be able to get a lot of usage out of Transmutation Circle just because we have a lot of people who come back from the dead. Although it is monster's place, which might not affect people who ever respawn, just like the Miraculous Pill does not. Worth noting. But this could be disgusting with like Alucard or Gromosh. Or just Protean Barrel. Just 10 stacks of bleed immediately? That would be funny. Okay, sure. I talked myself into it. Now remember, this event is going to take all my money. I think I just dodged the events, honestly. Because I want this with the Protean Barrel. That's the synergy. So I think I just, like, literally ignore the rest of this. Oh, hey, Niflheim. Yeah, okay, cute. It's really hard to ignore this business trip, though, isn't it? Alright, please YOLO someone bad. Huh. Bork for the Horn of Play. Well. It's Leonidas. Leonidas is off. Off on an adventure. And now we have arrived at the final champion. The final champion, of course, getting the Fountain of Youth, because why not? It's always a healing fountain for the final, the grand finale. Now, I do want Alucard to be up front because he is supposedly what this run was all about. Which means we want to kind of balance it out. We can get Bork in one. Skeletor just works so well. Like, look at his resistances. Level 4 Skeletor, which was incredibly cheap to achieve, by the way. No negative resistances. All of them are pretty decent, except for Ice. Like, he's just a good unit. I mean, his damage is pretty subpar, but he's just a good unit. It's amazing, really. Unfortunately, never got Gromosh level 4. And we haven't seen too much of Goblins, but that one fight, he did good. He did good in that one fight. You know? Alright, I think we're going to rock with this. Literally 0 usage out of Mammon's Bridget Bones, but hey, I had it. It was an option. That's why we took it. Options. Abominable Swoleman plus Ner'zhul plus Kel'Thuzad is just literally asking people to come with elemental damage. Alright. On Hoplite's also been pretty cool. Here I go. Our final champion is Sam, the Innkeeper. Sam I Am, leading the charge, dealing a lot of fire damage. Increasing that damage, of course, per penalty applied to the Innkeeper, which he applies himself. I guess that's why he always applies penalties himself, huh? 60-some hours, and I just figured that out. Good job. Good job. He is joined by the Knight, which is truly what's making this the most annoying part. Of course, giving Enrage to everybody, and dealing a lot of physical damage to the front, but guess who is here to make this all better? The skeleton. Look at it. He might even survive this attack. Maybe. I could try and stun him. Or I could just do that. And last but not least is the Hellbringer attacking the back with her weird shuffle. A strange shuffle of the gods. You know, I've never really actually gotten use out of Bloodbath. The thing that does more damage based on bleeding stacks. Bork broke beneath the end this time. We are using the protein barrel, and we are, in fact, doing it now. 32 stacks of bleed. That's not bad. Imagine if I had Alucard coming up. Now, Chalcedon here is not going to like the Knight's sword in its face, unfortunately. Who does? Also, ironically, the Knight has the highest fire resistance here. I don't know why, but it does. Sam I Am has rolled Shell, which is incredibly annoying. Incredibly. Also, I faintly recall that I said something like, this layout back here is tempting the game to bring elemental damage. And the game heard me, and it has brought elemental damage. So, you know, there's that. Unfortunately, the Knight shall slay a Hydra. Because the protein barrel, there is no second trap. Mog could slap this. All on the flow, but he's going to show no mercy. Or convince his team to show no mercy. And the real question... Frostbite? Yeah, you'll go debuff. Boop. The real question. I have a real question. And that is, does Kane's Revenge go off twice because of the miraculous pill? I think we're about to find out, team. Here we go. Does it happen twice? Nope, it sure does not. But that's okay. It doesn't need to happen twice. Because it happened once.
My work here is done.
We killed 25 heroes. Last time we killed 24. Where did this 25th one come from? Well, anyway. It's more blood for the blood god. Who cares?
They will learn to fear me.
Well, that went well.
It's a passion.
I can't help but notice that I started this to show off the vampire and ended up just showing off Ner'zhul. But hey, this just in, the Orc Sorcerer is good. Also, isn't there an artifact where I need to... Yeah. Make 50 monsters come back to life. And look, I'm 3 away. 3. We'll be getting this artifact. There's also this one where I just need to buy a whole bunch of people. So maybe I should do that. I don't know who that would be best to do it on. But anyway, we also acquired this by completing Ascension 5 or higher with Mog. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Brian. Your intern is always in the first available room, but maximum life is increased by 50%. That's just... I think that's just really good. It's always in the first room. Especially with the Father of the Damned, my boy, who just applies Terrify nonstop. You can Terrify into a monster room. That sounds really good. We also got this for doing it with the Lord. Every Souls and Soul fragments gained, a random non-rare monster is added to your garrison. Wow. That's just free real estate. I wonder if that counts for buying units. It says obtain, so maybe... Wow. Okay. Maybe I can line that up. We'll see. But thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. Next time, we're back on Serral. And what do I do with her? What do I do? Reduce regeneration. Nah, don't care. I never get attacked anyway. I'm going to come back to regret saying that. But thank you all for watching. Thank you to the patrons and channel members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you. And if you'd like to stay up to date with the Happy Dawn channel, feel free to join the Discord description down below. And I'll see you next time for the Enchantress to make her grand return doing something. Not sure yet. Bye!